Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at Dragon Magazine number 85 from May 1984. 40 years ago, this is what we were buying from Dragon Magazine. So we're going to take a look cover to cover, front and back cover. You see those? Rather a dark cover, but we're going to take a look at this and on all the goodies inside. Also, a real quick reminder, please subscribe if you haven't already, and please take a look at the Patreon, see if there's anything you can do to help out there. But for right now, we're going to go back 40 years to May 1984 to Dragon Magazine number 85, today on page 121. Dragon Magazine 85. It was a dark and stormy cover. This is a very dark cover. A man menacing in the background, the young boy with the whatever he's doing with the little crystal ball thing. And that's our cover. First thing we see when we open up the book is we see when the going gets tough, the tough use Balrogs from Rail Partha Enterprises. That's pretty cool. I like that. Discover the action-packed world of Loremaster with campaign and adventure modules from Iron Crown Enterprises. There you go. Iron Crown Enterprises out of Charlottesville, Virginia. Then we get the fine table of contents from May 1984. We get the Kim Mulhan editorial. And we go to Out on a Limb, which is letters from the readers. And then we get Adding Another Dimension. You Can Be the Judge at Gen Con 17 Game Convention in 1984. 1984 was the first Gen Con I went to. It was August 16th through the 19th. I went on that Saturday, so probably August 18th, at the University of Wisconsin Parkside campus in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It was the very first one I went to. In the Victory Games world of James Bond 007, role-playing in Her Majesty's Secret Service, the excitement is just beginning. Out of Victory Games from New York, New York. Forum, the opinions and observations of various readers. I read some of these. I wasn't a huge fan of letters from the editor, or letters to the editor, or feedback from readers. Some of the forum stuff actually had some pretty good ideas and role-playing in it, but Grenadier Models covers it all. Out of Springfield, Pennsylvania. Oh, I remember this guy. I didn't have him. I have the Traveler set, I believe. I love Grenadier. One of the Traveler guys right there. I've got that Griffin. I got a couple of these guys. Oh, I love Grenadier. The Cleric Collection. 3 ways to give the class more flash. Here's to your health. Second thoughts on first aid in the AD&D game. By Kim Mulhan. Kim always wrote a really good article. Continuing on, we finish up the article here. Here we get the guidelines for if you're interested in contributing to Dragon and experience the realm of complete fantasy from Bard Games, Greenwich, Connecticut. Campaign series, Game Grid Sheets, the original and largest. These were not easy to come by in the 80s, not like it is today. These guys are out of Oakland, California. Silver Dawn, $5,000 quest tournament from Charlotte, North Carolina. They've been advertised in this a bunch in Dragon Magazine. Special Skills, Special Thrills. Varying Powers Helps Avoid Cleric Stereotypes by Roger Moore, another really good Dragon's article writer and eventual editor. The Complete Strategist. The newest adventure lies in the horizon. And I am given to understand some Complete Strategist game stores are still around. Continuing on the Roger Moore article, Feudal Lords, the original medieval play-by-mail game of economic development, military conquest, and political intrigue from Graph Simulations in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Powers and Perils, Fantasy Lives, Avalon Hill. Yes, Avalon Hill did jump in, and they were published in Baltimore, Maryland. Clerics Must Be Deity Bound. How one acts depends on who one worships. I agree. I know that some of the old D&D stuff had clerics getting their power mostly just by their belief and such. And I know there's some stuff that in first edition that says the low-level spells are powered simply by your belief and not directly by your deity. I have always been the one that the cleric is bound to the deity. And they act as the deity would have them act. And I let them use the weapons that is the deity's primary weapon. So here we have a chance for fine pewter collectibles and goatskin lace only from Amulet out of Troy, Michigan. And these are actual size for catalog $7.75 US for each. Actually, that's not a real bad price for those. Put yourself in the story. Traveler by Game Designers Workshop. I love Traveler. This is when they were getting away from the pamphlet-sized books and getting into the bigger books. Figure feature. Text by Kim Eastland. Photos by Shibe Studio. We get some offerings from Rel Partha, Grenadier, and Tag Industries. I don't think I have any of those guys. A new Starfire coming this month from Task Force Games. Starfire, in various forms, kind of went on to become the Honor Harrington series, among a few other written novels. But, so there's an ad for Starfire for you. Play by mail, problems by mail. So this is basically asking for a little bit of advice on how to deal with your play-by-mail issues. Great Moments in American History, brought to you by White Dwarf. Nothing like a British magazine to tell you the great moments of American history. Join the Games Workshop Dragon Train and experience a new frontier in adventure gaming. White Dwarf is still around, publishing GWs, featuring his 40K stuff mostly, out of Columbia, Maryland in this ad. Continuing on our problems with play-by-mail. You've got the imagination, now you need the personalities from Rel Partha Enterprises. I love Rel Partha. They had some nice stuff. The Bandersnatch. I remember him. I never picked him up. The Ecology of the Ixit Shachtil. I've never been known how to pronounce that thing. This by Ed Greenwood. It's an undersea... It's kind of a undersea demon vampire kind of thing. I've never really used one in a game that I remember. It's possible that there was one game where I throw one in, but I don't remember it. Survival Force 25mm blister packs in groups of 3 from Castle Creations out of Columbus, Ohio. I don't have any of these guys. Continuing on, our ecology article, finishing up there. Own your own magic shop for only $15. These were really cool. I have all 3 that they offered. This is from Dragon Tooth Incorporated out of New York, New York. Cast your own fantasy figures from the Duncan Company in Calvert, Texas. For your eyes only, James Bond 007. To help Victory Games run a James Bond 007 tournament at Origins this year. They're out of New York, New York. So if you're ready to go back 40 years and run a James Bond game, this is your chance. Valkyrie Settlement by Susan Schwartz. Some fiction for us. Continuing the fiction. There we go. Long story. Module Hunt. Dragon Magazine is always looking for a few good modules. This is just before the launch of Dungeon Magazine, which is where they took the modules that they received and slapped them into a magazine. Then we've got Cunning, Strategy, Diplomacy, Deceit. These are the challenges of Earthwood. Kings and Superheroes in a World of Conquest and Sorcery. From GSI out of Miami, Florida. The Armory. Manufacturers and importers of dice, dice inkers, dice markers, dice blah, blah, blah. Armory dice were the way to go back in the 80s. If you had a set of Armory dice, boy, you were rocking. I never bought Armory dice. I believe my wife had a couple of sets of them. Let's see if we have anybody in Illinois that was selling Armory dice at the time. I do not see them. Oh, wait. Oh, they've got Illinois after Indiana. That's weird. Mount Prospect Games Plus, of course. Pegasus Hobby and Waukegan. Okay. 3 Cheers for Beowulf. Different portraits of the legendary hero by Robert Cook. This is kind of interesting. I always kind of liked, I miss the old Giants of the Earth series they used to do. So this gave us a little bit of a taste of that. We get Beowulf as a 12th level fighter of lawful good alignment. And then we get his backstory. We get him as a 15th level of neutral good alignment by Roger Moore. And Beowulf 3 by Kyle Gray is a 20th level fighter, lawful neutral. Interesting, the 3 different takes on the same character by 3 different authors. I like that. Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective Game. This was from Sleuth Publications in San Francisco, California. Pentent Star. You'll need skills of poker, diplomacy, and chess to win at Pentent Star, a fantasy board game of magic and strategy. From Adventure Games in St. Paul, Minnesota. New from TSR, The excitement, the wonder, the thrill of role-playing now becomes three-dimensional with TSR's white metal figures. The AD&D figures and Star Frontiers. I have this Star Frontiers set. I never bought the AD&D ones because honestly I didn't think the sculpts were all that great. The Twofold Talisman, Adventure 2, The Ebon Stone. A tournament adventure for the AD&D campaign. By this point, they were routinely putting a module in the issues of the Dragon. They proved to be pretty popular. So they went ahead and started making Dungeon Magazine a little while after this. This was done by Roger Moore, Philip Terzinski, Douglas Niles, and Georgia Moore. Roger Moore has wrote a fun adventure. I don't remember this one. I don't believe I ever ran it. But we get some nice characters. I always like that picture. Fantasy Games Unlimited. Their games at the time were Space Opera, Villains and Vigilantes, Aftermath, Chivalry and Sorcery, and Bushido out of Roslyn, New York. Played these two. Never played any of the others. Space Opera was fun, but a little overly complicated, and Villains and Vigilantes lost to champions. Sorry. Modules, what we're hunting for. So they're actively putting out what they want in a module now because, again, they had ideas to make the Dungeon Magazine soon. We showed you where Frodo lives. Now we'll show you how. Middle-earth role-playing. This is from Iron Crown Enterprises, and it is sold in Illinois at Bayer's Hobby Shop in Woodstock, Illinois, Friends Hobby Shop in Waukegan, Illinois, Games Plus, Mount Prospect, Illinois, Mini Mall Games at Granite City, Illinois. And they were out. Hobby Game Distributors were out of Lincolnwood, Illinois. Lincolnwood, Illinois, I believe, is downstate. A Stone's Throw Away. Fiction by Roger E. Moore for the Dragonlance saga. Dragonlance was still brand new and pretty exciting. I got into Dragonlance right away. I did enjoy it at the time. It's something I kind of moved past, though. I ran some Dragonlance. Can You Survive Witch Hunt by Statcom Simulations Incorporated out of Bayonne, New Jersey. Set in Massachusetts in 1692. Thieves Guild Special Offer. Game Lords is proud to announce revised second edition of their acclaimed Thieves Guild Basic Rules out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. Roleplay, Campaign, and Adventure Game Aids. The Companions, Islandia Campaign Series. Bath, Maine for these guys. Diamond Dice, Master Dice Sets. Out of Park Ridge, Illinois, not too far from where I live. Having trouble picking a weapon for just the right situation? Then try The Armory, a reference book on weaponry. These were valuable back in the 80s. You didn't have the easy way to find stuff that you do now. Continuing on our fiction, we've taken the dice out of fighting. Nova. These are little pamphlet books that you would use to fight each other. These guys were out of Manchester, Connecticut. Finishing up our story, DMs, are your players losing interest? Mine don't, for DMs only. We have Monster Statistics Record, Party Statistics Record, Spell Statistics Record cards, DM Time Record, and Melee Clock from Dragonlight Enterprises out of Plattsburgh, New York. Armament and Maneuverability from Fantasy Tribe Fighters. Don't think I know these guys. They are from Raffam, it looks like. Relpartha Imports, yeah, Ontario, Canada. Advanced Hack and Slash. Combat plays a big role in 4 fantasy games, and they are Warhammer, of course, Warhammer Fantasy, Reaper, don't know that one, Lost Worlds, Cry Havoc. Then we got a couple reviews. Whispers from the Abyss, The Snow King's Bride, a couple others. Warhammer FRP System Falls Flat, a review, and not apparently a very pleasant one, of the fantasy role-playing system for Warhammer gaming. And then we come to Ares, the science fiction gaming section. I really loved this section. This became one of my favorite things in Dragon. It had its own little table of contents, its own editorial. That was really cool. The Federation Guide to Luna, the Moon in Star Trek. I love the Moon series of articles. They did 6 or 7 of these. They did Gamma World, Traveler, Star Frontiers, Star Trek. I think that's it. But continuing on our look at the Moon in Star Trek, we had an ad for Adventure Under Other Suns from Fantasy Games Unlimited. This was just another attempt to do a space game to rival Traveler. Gamma Hazards, New Mutants for the Gamma World game. This would have been for third edition. Nope, second edition. Yeah, second edition of Gamma World. Gamma World's a fun game. I love that game. Preventing Complacency in Traveler Gaming by Roger Moore. Roger Moore wrote a lot of stuff in Dragon about the Traveler game, and I always appreciated it. In fact, I'm going to go back and read this article. It's probably what I had my little bookmark in there for 40 years ago. Coming soon, Marvel Superheroes, the heroic role-playing game. Champions had proven to be pretty successful. Marvel wanted to get into it, and TSR jumped in with both feet. Here we finish up the keeping your Traveler characters from being complacent. We have Marvel Superheroes, and then we go to Lions, Tigers, and Superheroes, Wild Animals in the Champions game. Champions is a great game, but it didn't handle animals real well. Animals were either too tough or too easy to defeat. This article did help. Star Questions. Questions answered and advice on Star Frontiers Gaming. I always liked these. Gen Con 17 Game Convention. August 16th through the 19th, 1984. University of Wisconsin in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's the very first one I went to, and it would have been on Saturday the 18th that we went. Continuing on our article on Star Questions. Rapham, we get the Reptiliads. Rapham miniatures. Never had any of these guys. Watch for the summer 1984 release of the Reptiliads. These guys were out of Canada. Gamer's Guide. Just some different items that are for sale by vendors. Nice little small ad section. SF Gaming Convention calendar 40 years ago. FallCon 84. Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio. Destined to be the Midwest's largest convention. I think Gen Con would like to have a chat with you about that. Origins 84 in Dallas, Texas. Never been to Origins. Nice index to the advertisers. TSR and GAMA are back together again. GAMA. What is GAMA? Game Manufacturers Association. Oh, yeah. Continuing on the rest of the Module Hunt article from earlier. Wormy! Gotta like Wormy. Dave Trampier. Just a one page from him this time. Dragon Mirth. Used to always really enjoy Dragon Mirth. I like this one. Roger the Clumsy. Born 1501 and all the times he's died. And finally in 1529. Joe Disco. I like that. Disco was quite dead by 1984. Disco having started dying in 79, having its final throes in about 81, and then pretty much being gone after that. Snarf Quest. Gotta like Snarf Quest. I always like the artwork in Snarf Quest. And then we got to look at Bug-Eyed Monsters. They Want Our Women. I remember this being on the shelves. I never bought it. This is from West End Games, the folks who brought us Star Wars role-playing game. And then the back page, Middle-earth role-playing, the MERPS system from Iron Crown Enterprises. So there you have it. That's a look at Dragon number 85 from 40 years ago this month, May 1984. I hope you enjoyed looking through this as much as I did. I have actually looked at this one in recent years. I was reading the various Moon of Earth articles last few months, and I did thumb through this one. So this one was just kind of a pleasant revisit for me. So there you have it. Let me know what you thought. Please leave your comments. Like the video if you would. Please take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. And that's all I've got for today on page 121. I'll see you next time.